Buddy, your boy Tony's back from, I guess you call it mini vacation. Let me turn up the. This is as close as I can get. Okay, so I went to FFR, as everybody knows. Practice series is up on YouTube, and my first run was Friday night. So you can go ahead and find that back, watch it back if you want. There was a technical issue with the computer I was playing on where we thought we had it fixed before the run started, and when it became obvious in the first few minutes that we really couldn't switch, because we were also running a little bit behind, I just buckled down and fought it, tried to make light of it, and we still finished under estimate, and we got some time back at the time, which was awesome. I got a lot of compliments for that. I'm glad it happened to me because I handled it well. That's kind of like what I do, try to roll with things. Maybe some of that comes from commentary and just being able to improvise a little bit, but you know, definitely didn't want to panic. I'm going to pause right there because I think Jay's about to talk here. But basically what happened after that was the organizers let me know, like, hey, there is a chance we might need to fill some time here and there, so if you have the ability to run more, we might call on you for that. And I was like, yeah, sure. I brought a bunch of seeds. Like, I've got a few that'll take some time. And on Sunday, they wanted to give the tournament players a break to eat. And so they flipped the schedule around a little bit. They put them after the run that was before this, which is was it Jets? Yeah, Jets at time. So and then they asked me to do like a 45-minute or under run, so I had an STS, and Yeehaw was available to jump in on commentary. So I'm gonna watch this one back because first of all it's shorter, and second of all there's no technical issues. I hate watching myself back, I really do, but I'm gonna do it, and I'll pause and I'll add in some stuff. I just don't think there's anything I can do. Watching back the first run, first of all, we're going to watch the lag. And I'm not going to be able to tell you like what's going through my mind at the time because there really wasn't much. I really wasn't as much focused on playing and like the routing and stuff as like, like trying to entertain through the technical stuff. And I've said it a bunch during my time on the mic at the marathon, but I'll say it again. Like the tech was awesome. I mean, it's a lot of work, especially when you consider like only one person is doing like 95% of the setup. So huge shout outs to Jay for doing all that. Carting the equipment across the country, setting it all up, working the whole day shift. With very little relief. Like the guy was a warrior, and the tech issues that happened with the PC are nobody's fault. Like I said, we thought we had them resolved. Like I patched the graphics driver. I played for like 5 to 6 minutes straight, just backdashing and sliding and stuff in the first area, and everything was fine. Then we hooked that up to another monitor and the streaming setup and everything, and then we had those issues return. So this was actually run on Luffy's computer to the side. He played several runs as well. He filled some time with Slay the Spire. He hosted. I think he played the mini tournament. I believe he. Oh yeah, and he ran Ori, which is really really a fun run. So he had his PC as well. We streamed this. I'm in the room. I'm just off to the left there, and I don't think there's a camera on me that will see me, but I am there live in the room for this one as well. And this one actually went pretty well. I did have a death at the end. We'll talk about that a little bit. I just kind of forgot what I had at my disposal, and then after I died and the pressure was off to like get as clean of a run as possible, I remembered what I had, and then I used it. But yeah, we're just gonna, and then after this, I'm gonna play the other seed that I had. That was STS. I did have another max cast as well that Axel played through that I hadn't looked at the spoilers at, but. Yeah, forgetting. Yeah, I mean, and especially when you're live, like anybody I'm sure will play better if like they don't have to do any of the commentary. But um, um, I definitely like you take a lot more of the lead on this run, and I tried to focus on playing, and I only kind of really chimed in when it was super relevant, or like maybe like we were forgetting something here and there. Um, uh, Sorry, I'm just replying to somebody real quick. There
Yay!
we
Hello,
go. Turn
everyone,
it
and
back
welcome
down.
back to Final Fantasy Randomizer Summer Marathon 2025, day 4? 3? 3.5. Um, Sunday. Few hours left here. Time to get some last-minute donations in, and time for some
Yeah,
troubleshooting. We have Tony over
let me
here
crop this
about to do
better.
some bloodstain on my computer. Hopefully, it survives and runs all right for him. We're going to try to get him to do some stuff that's not laggy, but he was great the other night, so let's watch him do that. But we're in remembrance here, and again, we're here for the Liam Foundation, whose mission is to encourage, assist, heal,
That's
and
pretty close to
empower
full
our
screen.
LGBTQIA+ community through respect, advocacy, and passionate hearts to promote thriving in society. It's been a tremendous weekend. We're very happy to be partnering with them again, and let's watch Tony just have some fun here and see how this game goes. Thanks, everyone.
This I think went pretty well. I mean, I think it was like 30 minutes or a little over 30 minutes. I don't know where I'll move myself to where
Hey
it's.
everyone, it's Tony. Happy to be back. We ran this on Friday night. We're going to do a little bonus for you. This one is the other set of flags that we do. This is a little bit more quick and focused, so I won't have to kill everything. But with me again.
I also hate the sound of my own voice when I hear it back on recording. It doesn't sound bad to me because like when you, that's a little bit distorted too because I'm using a headset. The speaker, I think we either unplug the speaker or move the speaker, but I have one of the two speakers for the room like right next to me, so I think that's actually feedback. But yeah, just one. And most people do hate their own voice when they hear it back on recordings. It's just because when you hear yourself talk, you hear yourself with your ears because of but you also hear the vibrations of your like vocal folds and everything in your own head. So that's why you sound different to yourself when you're recorded. Because when you're recorded and you hear yourself, you're only hearing the audio waves in the air your ear picks up. You're not hearing any of this stuff affecting your eardrums. So you always sound slightly different to yourself than you do on recording. And I'm not a big fan of the way I sound. Yeah, I mean, like when I hear, yeah, it is big yuck. But I mean, I think I do impressions and accents pretty well. I'm just not gonna commit to the bit of like always speaking in an Irish accent
He's
to
going to
sound
take
better.
over and explain the movement, and I'm going to get kicked off here, and you can go ahead and count us down, and then explain movement, and we'll get into it.
Real quick, the base movement again for the whole.
So I wanted to save even more time by. It turns out we didn't need to. Turns out we didn't need to save 15 to 20 minutes. I said that so that I would start playing, and then Yi would explain movement right away. Um, but we practiced by me like doing the intro, and then him explaining movement, and then me starting, which is what we did on Friday. So he just went with the same formula and didn't. I guess I didn't like mention it before we went live, like hey, to save more time. But again, I asked before. I was like, hey, if we finish under 45 minutes, is that okay? And Darkmoon was like, yeah, that's good. And I think they thought that the people who were like in the tournament were going to get back from food quickly. But they like were just like a few of them were just walking in when I basically got done, right? So um, they still had to set up all their gear because with the race that was coming on next, I think what happened with. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. So Worlds Collide went after this. So the Worlds Collide guys were told like it's gonna probably be around this time, and then so they were kind of like walking back in the room, probably still expecting me to play for another 10 to 15 minutes. So then they had to set up their gear because we had two people live and one person remote for that 3-person race, and we had live commentary as well. I think we had. Well, I know Glue was there live for commentary. Was there another commentator that was remote for? Well, there's definitely the opera. Well, anyway, so I actually could have screwed up. I had a lot of buffer time. Let's keep going.
For those that didn't see, is Tony is going to turn around to the left.
I'm really going to pick myself apart here.
And press down on the controller or anything else that he might have set up to cancel the backdash. It ends up being even a slow backdash cancel setup with a good rhythm ends up being significantly faster than just walking forward. So that's the important bit, because that green chest that we see in the front is a key item, and it can be one of the two things we are looking for. It can be the Zangetsu to a sword. So Tony, if you're ready, we can count this down.
Yep, count it.
I don't know if I can touch back on this, but similar to Symphony of the Night, you can hit a maximum speed based off of the base backdash speed, and then how fast you redo the motion to backdash again. So like with shield dashing, you can shield dash with 1 frame, but you don't move any faster than shield dashing with like X frames in between, because you never lose any speed. And backdash canceling in this game is similar. Like as long as your backdash comes out before your crouch starts to animate, you maintain the same speed. So like a task could backdash super ridiculously faster than we can, but it's not going to be any faster than any of us on a decent rhythm. And you'll kind of see that because the computer that I played on was running this really well. Like it was probably as good or better than my own. So I don't have a frame count here because I didn't turn it on in Luffy's Steam, but I have it on in mine, and I regularly will be running it like several hundred frames per second. And it felt ridiculously good, I have to say. Any error you see here is me, an input based, and not the system. This was really nice to play on, and I'm using my controller, and good screen, like everything's good. I don't know if he has a half second monitor like I do, a half second millisecond response time monitor, but it felt really good. So even if it was a 1 millisecond monitor, I mean, people play fighting games on 1s and 0.5s a lot. It's pretty negligible of a difference, but it felt really good to play. So I'll just say that. And yeah, any error you see is input error on my part.
In 3, 2, 1, Bloodstained.
And that's what we do in Tetris. It's 3, 2, 1 Tetris.
Looking for. In this version, as we mentioned to see Friday, everything is a little bit more focused. Things shuffle within themselves. So if it's a green chest in the base game, it's going to be a green chest in the main game. There are a few exceptions. This trip to the Alchemist.
And like if you're watching this back with me and you're not familiar with the game, that lag that's part of the game. That's just the way the graphics render the rain. That happens.
It's a little weird that gets rotated into the key items.
This is an interesting choice to make, especially in STS. Like in Max Cash, you'll always equip your weapons first because you want to get the free kills on Sema and Alio here. You're going to go up to the left. You're going to check those items and stuff. In STS, equipping your weapon to get a Dulla Hammer kill is okay. It's slower than just damage boosting through them most of the time, unless you're like, unless you have good combat like Axel, Jupiter, Hapra. Amadeus has good combat too, right? So like if you have good combat, it's probably worth it because you might get a great red drop. I didn't get punished here for it because I got the red drop on, I think, the last Dulla on the ship. But yeah, I don't think it's correct to equip and get the to get the kill here because you can't pre-kill anything for quest turn-ins, and in STS especially, you're going to get a bunch of equipment on the ship. In Max, you don't know. You might get no equipment at all. So you want to menu once, or as little times as you can. So like obviously, if you pick up Z on the boat, you're going to menu it right away, or Valkyrie sword or anything strong attack wise. Or if you pick up a GG's, you're going to put it on immediately. But you have to assume you're not going to get anything, and you want to save everything for a menu because there's really not anything on the ship until the boss that like you need to equip anything for, other than maybe equipping your one melee weapon that you're gonna use to clear things out. And I wouldn't want to use my menu equipping that melee weapon until I have to kill the cannon mort in the next room. which are usually going to 2-hit, sometimes you're 1-hit, depending on what you have. I think it's almost impossible to have to 3. I think with the DLC sword, you always, because I think the minimum damage you can do with it is 12. Yeah, you're always going to 2-hit Cannon Mort if you equip the DLC sword. So, oh, my Twitch is up, not up here. It's 15, but whatever. I mean, it wasn't about getting people to follow me. It was about raising money for charity. Yeah, I mean, it can be a fuel thing. The thing about STS is that you're going to get a lot of good purple checks, and if you find glasses, one of those mediocre purples is going to be fine anyway for damage. When it comes to reds, what is there that's good? Throw Spear, Summon Hellhound, Vashia, Axe, Shuriken, Toxic Storm. Well, I won't count Toxic Storm because Toxic Storm doesn't benefit from GGs really. So Toxic Storm and Summon Insect are good, but it's because they poison, not because they... I think that's it. I have to go look at the total amount of red shards, but... I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It really depends. It depends. It's a player preference thing. I don't think it's wrong necessarily, but if say you're racing and you're a top player against another top player, for the 1 or 2 times you spike a good red, I think you might lose, or you could lose a race, in turn in another seed. Yellows is tougher to call, like, because there's no, is there a yellow on the boat? No. Is Aleo yellow? No, that's Gale Crawler, right? Yeah, Aleo's Gale Crawler, Seema's Cerulean Splash. That guy is some bullshit red. Ghost is a red, Summon Ghost. Yeah, there's no yellow on boat. So I think on the boat, your best move is to not equip anything in STS until you get a weapon. If that weapon's even worth equipping. You might just still end up equipping the DLC sword because you might get 2 shitty guns.
It ends up so strange. There's times where
Or like
the game will just
short sword and a gun or something.
and there's a pretty good armor right there.
It's a good slide. I like that. I fuck it up with the backdash drop.
Good armor. That health is going to be.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm double sliding here.
We are still looking for Zangetsuto. We are still looking for Dimension.
Probably I'm in MC mode. I grinded MC the whole week
Specific enemy.
because I knew we were gonna meet the incentive. There's no way.
One of the first ones that can have one.
And I'm glad I did because when I walked in to the marathon on Thursday and I was talking to some people and meeting everybody, Dark Moon mentioned that he was really excited to have me in because he thinks that more Castlevanias should be in. Because I mean, what's more NES than Final Fantasy? Castlevania, Zelda, I guess, Mario. So I knew that he was going to donate to it. I figured our community was going to show up. I had real life friends that I thought might pop in, so I was pretty confident we were going to go MC. So I played nothing with MC like the 7-8 days ahead of time. But it definitely messes with you a little bit because in MC you're used to, like checking everything, but also abandoning things when you see they're like not a green chest or whatever, or an item bag, and like. There I could have probably just left I could have probably just left the right room completely, but yeah, whatever.
One of the guaranteed drops is going to be coming up in this room. It'll be the cannon that Tony's.
Do I get the turnaround? I do. Okay.
One, and we get fall.
So I was wondering if I couldn't remember if I got the turnaround jump slash and a jump slash, and I did. Because I can't do GBA combat. I mean, I probably could if I practiced the shit out of it, but. I'm just getting old. Let me go to the doctor next month and let him tell me if I have hypertension or not, and then I'll think about it.
The really good offensive shards in the game. It's mana efficient, does pretty good damage.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to skip a lot as well. I'm not obviously if there's a tier of players in our community, like the S tier is the people that are at the top of the tournaments that have the highest skill, and then. There's a tier right below that with like, I don't know, probably... I don't know if I would have been in that tier before I started practicing for this, but I think I probably am now. It's like me, Fran, and like, all all the people that know the game well enough to where if they take any one gamble, they will beat you if you don't follow them. So probably like, Yeez, Rainbow, some of the people that don't play anymore. Amadeus has GBA combat, right? So he would be a tier above us. But I think everybody else in the community that still plays, Doc, like we're all like right here. I think for like the backdashing ability that I have, I'm not as good at probably like, guessing not guessing, but like knowing which play is the best play. I don't know. Maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit. I don't know. But I think if there was a tournament right now, I wouldn't lose in the first round. I'd probably go 1-2. I guess it depends on how many other people signed up, right? Like if it's like the core like 10 of us or whatever, and then we get like 10 new players, then maybe I go 2-2. But I'd probably have to play one of you guys. Yeah, this is the Sunday run. I didn't want to show the laggy run. I mean, like, you can go watch that, but like, I want to talk about what's going through my brain and like my execution, and I feel like talking about what's going through my brain and my execution in the MC run is just not gonna do anything. All I'm thinking in the MC run is don't get frustrated and focus. You can still finish on time. And how to make it fun and interesting for people that are like going, man, this is rough. So, oh yeah, I guess I'll say that Yihan and I were talking beforehand, and he was like, yeah, glasses is somewhere. It's if you don't find it, you can craft it. I'm like, all right, cool. So if I can craft it, that means that there's either a quest or there's it's the ring is somewhere, and then we were talking about drops and stuff. So I had it in the back of my mind that glasses was somewhere, and if I needed it, I could farm for it, which was good because again, we really wanted to finish this in under 45 minutes. I did not know that it would have been totally fine to have it go 45 minutes or even like 5 to 10 more minutes, because since I'm off to the left here, the Worlds Collide guys are going to be setting up where you see the monitor in the corner of the camera there to the right of the TV, but you're looking at so stage right. I'm stage left, so they could have actually started setting up stuff while I was still playing without interfering with anything. So we were actually too fast. But again, I asked Darkmoon, I was like, "Yo, because when I was talking to you about it, if I happen to get glasses without having to farm it, and if I happen to get decent drops, we were going to finish under 45, most likely, just talking to you about the seed. So, like, he's like, yeah, that's fine, because we thought that we were just trying to give the tournament people a break and rearrange the schedule a little bit. But it ended up taking a little longer anyway, and we were probably about an hour behind overall. But I think it's better than having, like, people playing while starving and then, like, having a bad tournament final or whatever. Because we had a really ridiculously fun and good FF1 tournament final. So yeah, let's go. As soon as I hit Feltib, I'm like, all right, cool. So I don't even need to farm the glasses that I know are somewhere now, because this is good enough to beat the game.
And I bet Tony's feeling really nice right now about
I was.
having any of the lag we ran into in them.
I was feeling great. Like,
You do what you can.
when we lagged in the rain open area, for a minute there, for like a 1/10 of a second, I went, but then that happens a lot, like on every computer, it's just the game itself. And then obviously, like I said, it felt great. So, once I got the Faltib, I was like, my basically the only thing I had to remind myself throughout the course of this was to untense my body a little bit, probably in the middle somewhere. In the middle somewhere, I noticed I was my body was a little bit too tense, like I was holding the controller a little bit too tight, I was sitting a little too stiffly, and I kind of just relaxed my muscles a bit. And I think that what happened in the first week I did of practice, since I did practice like 5 days in a row, is I did way too much of that, and I was not doing enough of making sure my breathing was steady, making sure my body was relaxed, making sure my hands were relaxed. And I think that overloaded my nervous system a little bit, and it definitely combined with the other health issue that I have to get checked out as soon as I get insurance in a couple weeks, which is like either a back muscle or potentially like a. I mean, I don't want to go doom and gloom, but it could be anything. There's something in my left back that I got to get looked at, and it might have been a back strain from working outside last year that hasn't healed correctly, or it could be like a nerve pinched or something like that. It's not painful, but it's definitely discomforting and causes some issues while sleeping. But I think that I overloaded that, and I got really. I had 2 weeks there where I basically just did not feel well at all. I was feeling my veins, my arteries kind of like pulsing a little harder and stuff like that. And I wasn't eating well, so I fixed a lot of things. Like I stopped eating like garbage. I started walking. I started drinking a ton more water. It could have just been bad water habits, being dehydrated and stuff, not drinking enough water in a day, whatever. And I felt way better after about 5 or 6 days of I was fixing a lot of this stuff, and I felt good at the marathon. So. Yeah, I don't know where was I going with this. I was somewhere, and oh yeah. So, but when I got the fouled Taib, I was like, all right, we're good. I'm not if I die, it's going to be on the final boss. It's going to be after I've just saved, because we don't have shuffled rooms. So we're gonna finish. We're gonna finish on time, no problem. Because there's no way that Z is in the vanilla location if the seed is under 45 minutes. So I know that. So my nerves went away as soon as the purple shard hit. Like I said, it's just I think a bad habit over years and years of just like my body having being too tense, and at some point in the run I reminded myself in the back of my mind, like, hey, relax your muscles a little bit. So I was good from here.
And we're going to hear a lot of fall. So cover your ears if you're worried about that one. So, all right, Tony's going to go into the next key item check right here in this one little right here. No, this is not chrono trigger. And we're not going to be going up to the left because all that's up there.
Hey, I hit the slide jump.
We don't really need that. This one's going to be a weapon. Claymore, not the best weapon in the world, but it is pretty useful.
Yeah, and I'm not going to check any of these save rooms because they're not shuffled like they were in the other category. And I'm not going to check a lot of the stuff that's in walls and in other green chests that I know aren't like accessories or weapons or something that are really useful for us. So
blue chests and same type shuffle do tend to be significantly more useful.
Yep.
Just for
Had some backdash issues right there. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, if I go buy one, I'll open it, but I'm not going to go out of my way.
Yeah, mine were a little too fast over the course of the run.
There's no more purples on the boat.
It's weird that you can be too fast with it, but you can.
For weapons and other assorted nonsense here.
Yeah,
Unless the enemy has a huge hitbox, then sometimes I think you can kind of mitigate the.
I have an offensive shard that like.
You can kind of mitigate it being a little bit too fast, so the thing has a massive hitbox if you just wiggle. But it's touch and go. I don't know. I don't know what the actual. I wish we had the stats, like every X frames is when you can do damage again. That would help us a lot, but somebody have to data mine that shit, and I don't think that's gonna happen.
Like, not only does great damage, but it kind of solves the MP problem that we might have because we only have to use like 1 or 2 MP every time we use it. Oh, wow. Okay.
So there's the run right there. I get Hellhound. I don't really think a whole. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh wow, cool. If I get glasses, then this will be some options. But even though Dom's resistant to all the base elements, light, and maybe other stuff, it still did like what? It's doing like 130 something damage, and yeah, I mean. Every time I think Vashi is better, I get a seed where Hellhound, totally is just an all-star. So, I think I told DM this afterwards, too, like, the only risk we'd have of going over 45 with this was going to be if we got stuck with the casino, the bad casino slot pull arm, slot arm pulls. And the one that I did do and stop and do, like after I killed like 20 of them, Yeezy basically was just like, "Yeah, you should probably just skip this guy." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. We'll see." But like, there's no guarantee, right? I could go to the next enemy and farm it, and I could kill for 30 BGKs and have no drop. I could kill 30 Barbitoses and no drop. So, it was like, all right, cool, whatever. But then after that, including this one, like the drops were like insane. Like it was super lucky. Without the death to the final boss, I might have had like a 27. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I think I did orphan a few more, but then we came back to get him, and then I got them right away. So like, we'll keep track of like how many bad purples there are. Dude, that was the only bad purple. And when I got DS, like on my revisit, I think I got DS right away, and I just dropped down to kill those guys, and then I was gonna jump up and over, and then I was gonna do Toad and Plume in the room to the right of the big open garden room, and we didn't even have to do that because um, because that wasn't gonna be quick either, because Toad's on the other side of the room, so and I didn't have a beam, I just had Taib and I had Hellhound, so yeah, we pulled the casino arm and got really good luck on the shard drops outside of that one. I'm pretty sure.
I did this seed, but I did not know that was there because I could never get him to drop in my multiple runs through this. So we now have the
Yeah, I'm too fast with Baldir.
best red in the game.
I had one. Yep. See, I have good pockets, and then I go too fast, a little bit too fast.
There we go, and that is a very quick FFR. Gonna get a
Yeah, I don't know why I paused there. You gotta wait. You gotta wait till it shows you the cutscene.
Pause by mistake there. It's just because you can cancel out some of these cutscenes, and sometimes you do it too early and you pause by accident.
And a little backdash issues. I think the backdash cleans up really good, especially once I untense my body a little bit.
levels.
Like I get in my own head and remind myself to stay loose.
Julius isn't really. The Julius one is a DLC boss fight. This first
So
one is gonna go through.
classic beginner rookie mistake here is going to do the quest when it's not anything but GG. You should always check the shop first, especially in STS, because you could have Moonbelt in there, and I would have just bought Moonbelt anyway, which is what I did. So I wasted this time right here for sure.
Through because
It's not horrible because you get 5 kills on Bowmore, but considering Bowmore didn't drop for us, it really did not pay off at all to get this first. Although I guess one thing I will say if you're a beginner is you probably will value Strider Belt over Moonbelt because you won't be great at backdashing right away. You can get really good at backdashing pretty quickly, but the first few runs you probably might want to stick to sliding just because sliding is there's no execution at all to sliding other than weaving a backdash in every 4 slides, but you don't even really save a ton of frames from that. You just save a decent amount. So the quest is good. It opens up other quests. There could be a good item behind the other quests. You can finish a bunch of the other quests while you go through the next area. So like starting out in this game, beginner-wise, it's probably a decent idea if there's a good reward. But you should always check the shop first, especially if you don't have. You want to see if there's the faster accessories. You want to see if there's luck accessories that you might want to wear instead, especially in MC, because you might want to wear the luck accessories instead and deal with backdashing around instead of sliding, because you might want to just not waste menu time to equip your luck stuff to get more kills. There's lots of variables. But you should probably check the shop and everything first before deciding to go back and do the quest, just to know what's going on. It doesn't save. It saves like half a second or something to do it without going down and back up and then to the left, as opposed to talking and then jumping right back up away. So like whatever the distance time takes you to get from the bottom level to the middle level, that's all you're saving by going to do the quest first. But yeah, so this was bad.
Belt is a different type of movement that's gonna allow him to slide faster.
And we're going to kill Bowmore as well because he drops a purple.
I think my full types here were bad as well. Yeah.
Just until we get this cleared out.
So I missed. Yeah. I'm just missing.
It's a little weird because it's kind of like a dimension shift. If you saw the earlier run, it has a very specific zone, a very specific range away from Miriam that it's effective in. So you have to be on point with your attacks as opposed to something like Void Ray or Aqua Stream.
Yeah, gotta go fast.
Once Tony equips this, so Bromide, that is a key item that opens up that in combination with a couple other things opens up a little bit more.
Once I've transmuted an item, I'll pass it on to Dominique.
I will equip the belt in a second. Just want to see if there's anything else that I'm going to buy first. We want to minimize menuing because it wastes time.
Yep.
Can't skip that. I don't know why I paused there.
Yeah, looks like Moonbelt, but
You hear the I did the PFFT. You hear me do it immediately as soon as I see Moonbubble. I'm like, cool, I just wasted a minute. Yeah. And if you have Waystones too, it's like go ahead and skip it because you can just Waystone. I mean, it's completely different in STS. You know you can come back with ease. Your odds to having Waystones in STS are medium to very likely, whereas your odds to having Waystones in MC are very low. And getting back, and your warp rooms could be anywhere. So getting back to refarm stuff for quests, let alone purple drops or like any shard drops, is just it's a different thing. And I think I'm still in MC mode here, which is why I did the quest first, because you pretty much always need to see everything, and because you might want to grab some items they might dismantle into something you need. Who knows? So yeah, I think I made a mistake there, but I ended up saving a bunch of time with Hellhound anyway, so not a huge deal. Just get lucky,
Moonbelt is the item that lets you actually backdash even faster.
Let me turn this back on.
And Tony's going to go for it. So
Yeah.
we've shown off some of the various things that we can pull off here. But you'll see Tony's backdash is going to like double in speed here.
Yeah, it's technically faster than a Strider belt, so I probably should have checked the shop first. That's what happens.
Didn't need to do this.
All right, Tony's going to pop over here, get that HP.
I grabbed the health up, and then I grabbed the room out of habit
Still gonna be on
from
the-
MC. I didn't need to grab the room there.
And is on Getsuto.
You can grab the room when you go to use it the first time with waste, because I have
Like
Waystones.
this one coming up
You only
right
need to grab that if you don't have
stand on
Waystones.
this roof and it's going to fall through. That green chest is usually well,
Miss the swing, of course.
it's an accessory and it's really not that great.
That's not the easiest jump up and hit, especially with a katana with no low hitbox, but I should have hit that.
It has an overhead swing, and when it hits, it actually does an additional bit of fire damage.
I don't know why I paused there.
So Tony
I thought it was one room ahead of where I was.
Be able to get all the way through this room before the entrance thing comes up, and yep, there we go. Just blasted right through that room.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll meet Max before then. So
That's what I got the other two.
Yeah. And in case you're wondering, Moonbelt does actually get you underneath that. The slide does. So, all right, whip expertise, not a great yellow as a pass.
I forgot I had Felty because I bought a sword.
Going to be running with.
The only reason I bought the sword is because. So I bought the sword or whatever, or I equipped it because I don't remember if I bought it or found it. You can run out of mana using Felty. It's hard to do, but you can run out of mana. So having a decent weapon is still a good idea, especially if it has range. If you have like a whip, that's really nice because a whip's range is going to be just a little longer, I think, than the bubble.
There are better. Crusader's armor, fairly early. That's roughly around when that would pop up.
Have I equipped the?
Spear, that's pretty good red.
That's another, yeah. Have I equipped the
Gonna zip right past everyone.
Aegis plate yet?
Yeah, if we can find.
No, yeah, I equipped everything at the
MP,
village,
might
right?
use it.
Think?
It's good range.
I don't have a scarf. That one was good.
Yeah, we're just blasting through enemies here.
Oh, see, my back is turned to the couch. I did not know that Jay took a break in Dark Moon, and they were like taking a break watching watching. This is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get this one yet.
Yeah, I don't know why I forgot that we didn't get Bone Mort,
It's gonna
but
be a little bit of a stagger whenever we
yeah, this wasn't good. Didn't turn around right there. Dash too close. So again, you're used to doing this without the Moon Belt,
barely using any MP. This
especially in MC. Like even though the Strider Belt,
mana efficiency is so high.
even though the Strider Belt and the Moon Belt are in the Treasury accessory pool, like so, like you can find both of them in the treasure chest in every seed. You just don't find them all that often, especially in MC. So you get used to like the regular backdash speed and all that. Yeah, I don't run with any of the extra DLC just because barrier of entry and all that. But I wouldn't mind if like we had if we had some kind of event where that was all allowed. It's not expensive or anything. I feel like as long as the prize was big enough to like give that person their money back times 5 or whatever it costs to buy that DLC at minimum, then at least you can go, well, I spent the money on this DLC to play in this tournament, but also like if I do win or get second place, whatever, I get my money back or whatever. Yeah, the thing about the Shantae DLC is, I think I said it on Friday. None of it really matters. Outside of the sword and the shard, it's great and it's both for max chaos usually, because like it's very rare you don't get a better weapon than the sword on the boat in STS anyway, because you have what 3 or 4 weapon checks, something like that. But like in MC, it's a lifesaver because if you get no weapons on the boat and no good shards on the boat, how do you beat the boss without punching it in the face for 2 damage or whatever every hit, which is awful. And then the purple shard's great to have because it's a guaranteed piece of fire on the boat to open the shortcut at the end. So like that's a really small thing, but it's really nice to have. So like I like those 2 things being available, even if you deleted the rest. So I personally think it's good to keep because it makes MC a little bit easier to play and the barrier of entry a tiny bit lower. And it doesn't really affect STS at all. So I don't think there's a big deal about it not being disabled. However, I will say this. It's not like Artplay intended or gave a shit about that when they put that in the game. So if it was a design decision, I'd be more defending it than I am. But we all know it isn't. It just kind of sort of works out for us if you play, Max Chaos.
Yeah, it's just one of the reasons that everybody prefers it as the top bit. So we're just looking to get this thing to try to drop. It's only about a 4 to 5% drop rate. So.
Yeah, and we don't want to leave it. We don't want to leave it behind because this is the last spot or one of the fastest spots we can farm it in, and it could be dimension shift, and we need that. So we're gonna do it now.
Yeah, normally I would orphan here and come back.
As much as it pains me to not abandon it and come back, which is normal,
I said it. All right, cool. I said it.
as quick as possible, so we're not gonna miss anything and lose an hour.
Well, even in STS, it's hard to lose an hour.
It's not.
I'm gonna finish my own sentence here. Go ahead.
You have to kill something 50 times.
So also in my submission video for this marathon and the STS that I submitted, I lost almost an hour because I forgot Larage, and Larage had Dimension Shift, and I killed almost every other purple before I checked the list and saw that I did not get Larage. So my STS that was like 140, a little under 140 that I submitted for this, should have been like 50 minutes. So you can easily lose 45 minutes to forgetting shit.
So.
Wonder how many I killed before you tell me this isn't it.
Omar, can I interest you in dropping your shard, please?
Give it a few more and then probably move on.
Okay. I'm only gonna do.
Yeah, that okay is me acknowledging, okay, this isn't dimension shift, but, you know, I shouldn't know that.
Yeah, because you said to. Ooh, that silver means he drops iron as well.
I think that I can't remember if silver. I know silver and iron are in the same drop pool on one drop pool. But I don't know if they are on the other silver. The silver has one more drop pool. I don't know if that was accurate or not, but um,
Okay.
yeah, you can craft good stuff early.
Yeah, certain enemies drop the.
Oh yeah, you lost. Yeah, you forgot
Looking for the
forgot
ones that
something, and
specifically
then
drop the purple.
that's how you lost. Yeah, see that's
Ring. That's a.
that's why I like the strategies of orphan everything or orphan nothing, right? So like if I get a drop, cool. I do the set of kills. I kill what's in my way, and then it's easy to remember what I did get and then I just know, okay, I got these 3. I don't have these 5. I have to go back for these 5. Um, but if you flip back and forth, you won't remember what you did for that seed, right? So doing the farm everything is committing to whatever the casino is going to give you, especially if you don't have a good offensive shard. I don't like that way of playing, especially in STS when you know you can teleport back to these areas quickly. I like going for the movement first, trying to just see what the game's going to give you equipment wise and key item wise, and then go from there. But sometimes dimension shift is here, and then you just teleport across to the right, and you have to have a completely different route, and you lose. But that's just kind of the thing. I mean, if you don't like losing to percentage drops in the soul system, you don't want to you don't want to play the game at all. Probably, I don't mind. So, yeah, I mean, if I don't have to commentate at all, if I don't have to think about anything, obviously my memory is going to be a little bit better, and I won't have to check the list as much as I would normally. But also, it's a big ask, to not to be able to do the run without having to say a thing. And if we would have had another person to do commentary with you, and I didn't have to leave him on his own, I think that maybe we would think about doing that. But you know, uh, this was just to fill time as well. Like, there was no donation incentives for this or anything. It wasn't like there was pressure to perform here. It was just and we, if we went too long, we were gonna mercy kill it anyway. So no big deal.
Crafting item.
That's a good one too because that opens up an accessory.
So like if I get dimension shift here, I might take a completely different route. I'm probably going up and to the right and through the library, as opposed to the other way around.
To be crafted, which could be the glasses, which is what we want. Oh, steel? Oh, steel and a longsword, so that's not the pool that also drops.
That's not bronze. That's not iron.
Yeah, which are good crafting materials. They make a bunch of stuff early. Normally the shop guy, his key item is he gives you a bunch of crafting materials that will help you, craft some stuff to make your journey a little bit easier through the next part.
Accidental turnaround there.
It'll be pretty hard.
And so part of the reason why backdashing looks more consistent than it was a lot during practice is it's not just nerves. I've talked about this I think in the first run a little bit. I don't know if I came back around to it or whatever, but you can guarantee you always backdash in the same direction and don't accidentally turn around if you're using controller by using down back instead of down to do your crouch canceling. So, or down forward, depending on which, down left or down right, depending on which way you want to do. That is a little bit harder to do with the controller consistently than just the very, very tight, like pinpoint of just down. The problem is with just down, if you press the controller too hard, depending on your controller or whatever, or you accidentally press it just slightly to the left when you're going in that direction, you might turn in the wrong way and then you dash in the wrong direction. And then also, if you're used to consistently doing your back dashes with just pressing down, and then you try to on the fly switch to down left, you're going to be less consistent. You might accidentally miss a crouch here and there. So it's just, once you get to the level of being really good at it, it's probably smartest to, especially if you play like a loose D-pad like I do, to get good at down diagonal backdash canceling. But like it's not necessary, especially if you play with like a harder D-pad, or if you play leverless, you don't even have to worry about it. But I don't play leverless; I play with the D-pad, so it is what it is. But it's a lot more of that, and then me going, okay, I keep turning around, let me use the diagonal instead of the just down. It was happening to me a lot in the beginning of practice, and I realized I just wasn't being precise enough with my thumb placement on the D-pad, and I really I concentrated on working on that for a day or two, and it got much better without me having to use the diagonals. But throughout this, I'm sometimes like if I'm doing just down, but if I notice myself, I wish we had like an input display. If I notice myself turning around once or twice too often, then I'm switching to down diagonal to cancel. Hey man, I mean, I have thoughts on leverless controllers, but nobody cares about my thoughts on leverless controllers.
Hard, like right about now-ish, when we fight the first boss.
That room is 3 purples, isn't it?
Technically, yes.
Yeah, that's for as early game goes, that's pretty high density. You might want to hit that one, or come back to it after Zangetsu.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Toad is a lower drop percentage, but the Plume Parma, Toad, and Blood Grinder Knight all drop a purple.
Yeah.
We don't farm them there. I usually skip the Toad because it's such a low percentage, and that room takes a long time to reset. But we will farm these right here. We don't care about that.
This was pretty bad. Got the red though.
Get the red anyway. Not a bad one. But
I don't know why I went to teleport there.
I was hoping for like poison. We have basically the best red, so if we find infinite MP, we can utilize it, but it's not a big deal.
I like how I said I was going to farm BGK and Barbados, and then I just was like, nah, you know what? Zangetsu, let's go.
About what I do typically when
You just can't, if you're an orphaner like me, you just can't unlearn it. I was totally going to farm BGK and Barbados. I said I was going to, and then I just didn't. I guess once I abandoned Toad, I'm like, well, I'm abandoning Toad, so I'm gonna come back to these anyway. Who cares? Like if I didn't have Taib and I had a melee weapon, I'm pretty sure I would have done that. Because I'm looking for a decent purple to use in conjunction with my good red if I can find if I don't find glasses, or I can't craft glasses, because you can't really use Hellhound without infinite mana. So I'm like, if I didn't have a good purple, I'm still looking for a good purple. That good purple will let me farm the next purples. So I would probably have stopped there, but since I already have one of the best purples in the game, if not the best purple in the game, I'm just like, let me go get the white, let me see what I'm working with, let me get the key items, see if I have safety invert, and then since it's STS, I can just teleport back to this room whenever I want. And I probably would have lost this race to somebody who farms Plume. I think it was Plume had it? Plume or Toad, I can't remember which one.
my race is I skip a lot of this stuff because we're guaranteed
Plume? Okay.
a 4 out of 5 shot at some ability to unlock a different area.
Man, I didn't get the medal. I'm so trash.
And I like to get to that first and then figure out what to do from there. Just because you have more options, and
Oh, okay.
options is movement. That means you can get.
I just thought you were that much better at movement than I was, and that's why you had such a better time.
Your purple's at. I'm just checking for a better sword here. Okay.
So chat's asking us to explain the chest colors.
Oh yeah.
Brown chests are always going to be something like a potion, an ether or a potion, sometimes a high ether or a high potion. You'll never see the top level one.
So the reason I walk across the chandeliers there is because a backdash with the moonbelt on will dash you too far and walk you off the side. In theory, you could backdash with the moonbelt on, cancel it into a slide, and then slide jump off the edge. But to do that, and then I have to turn around and backdash again. To do that twice in a marathon setting, I'm just not good enough to try that. So in lieu of falling and then having to re-jump up on the chandeliers because we don't have dimension shift or reflector ray or whatever, I just walked. So there you go. I will still slide if I have. I mean, I will slide in my normal runs across there, and sometimes I'll backdash and jump off the side as well. If I'm just just going for straight speed, but when I'm trying to be like safe, I will not. And if I had Strider Belt on, I probably would still slide as well, because I don't think the slide is enough to get you to just fall off the edge by itself. I think you still have to like walk off the edge a little bit.
Blues are randomized based on various spaces. They can have. There's like 7 or 8 different types of things that can be there, and it would take forever to go through. Greens, unfortunately, can either be weapons, accessories.
Right, but the time you said you had was your in-game time, right? Because you didn't die, I'm assuming. I died to, what? I died to the end boss and lost, like 3 minutes? 3.5 minutes, something like that. It was like a 34-35 for me, I think.
Or key items. So we're going to be paying more attention to the greens than anything else. Red is...
I mean, between setup and the talking at the beginning, we spent almost 40 minutes of the 45 minutes, so... Turns out we had like 10 to 15 more minutes, but... Yeah.
Always money.
Yeah, and a special note about the greens, even though that you wouldn't know the first time you played through the game, they do have a designator of like what kind of equipment can be in them. So the accessory green chests are always this shuffle with each other in this set. So I know all green chests have accessories in them in the base game, so that's why you might see me skip some greens, depending on like what we're looking for.
I get grabbed and cursed here, don't I?
That is one of the enemies
You
that's strong
bitch.
against darkness.
God, I hate that enemy. I hate that enemy so much.
She's meant to keep...
I should have just hellhounded it. I should have just hellhounded it and spent the mana.
This is the way one of the really late game portions of the...
Yeah, and you can fall down there and like
Really,
lose.
yeah, and you can fall down and just lose millions of seconds.
All right.
So this is just going to be another instance of high jump.
Yeah, and I went this way just because if that is invert safety, which is like a soft lock protection mechanic, it gets us into a bunch of other areas without having to have dimension shift, and those areas could have dimension shift. Also, you get 2 kills on that guy who also drops a purple, so it's not that bad of a time loss if you don't have anything there.
Now, these guys that he's killing on the way through tend to drop a yellow. The yellows are, just
Well, they always drop a yellow if you're not shuffling.
stab-ups. I don't know if they drop. I'm not gonna say.
That means the Killer Barber had like augment and or luck or something. Because if it was garbage, you'd tell me, and I wouldn't have mattered. If it was garbage, you'd be like, "Yeah, I've added that shit. It doesn't have anything."
I probably would have skipped the health up and marathon. We might have to fight the boss at a really low level, so
Yeah, it's safety.
it's right there. Just grab it.
Those horses in same type shuffle.
Cowardly plays.
Can drop one of the really
This room, I think I played decent. I should have killed him first. Shouldn't have got hit there either. I didn't get stoned. 420 blaze it.
lock that up.
Oh, I shouldn't have got hit by that either.
But
But I got both bells to drop without having to like
curse spring, it's
fall
not
and then
cursed.
come back up.
It's actually quite good.
Oh, I should have commented on the curse ring here because, we just say it's good. We don't say why, and it's because it tanks your luck stat, but it gives you every other stat, and like, so once you put it on once you found the shit you need, and there you go. It doesn't matter. Oh yeah, you know what? I guess what I'll do now that you mention that, I know I guess it kind of depends on what you want, Axe, because I have 3 MCs that I found in practice, and I don't remember shit about any of them except the first one. I know the first one has Accelerator very early, but Dimension Shift is very deep into the areas of the castle. So, like, that one will guarantee you finish before 2.5 hours for sure, because you have Accelerator pretty early, as long as you can find it. But But the other two I don't remember all that well, so I can replay them and see if they're a little longer. So if you want to make sure we fill time, um, we can do that. Um, I guess it all really depends on who's restreaming it. Like if they don't have to go to bed or anything, probably go as late as you want. It's a Friday night as well. If it's, I don't know who it's going to be. I'm assuming it's probably going to be Luffy, Jay Scheidel, somebody that normally hosts / does the tech. So, but I mean, I don't know. Does it say on the schedule? Let me look real quick. Schedule. Crew. Oh no, it's all to be determined on crew. So yeah, I don't know. It's something we can ask in Discord. If you want, we can do a after party with me, and I'll come if you want to run another run afterwards. I'll comment for you. If you want to stream on you can do your Twitch and I can do mine. We can do like a multi-cast kind of thing, and I'll cast it for you if you want. So people can watch without commentary, or they can watch with commentary if you want. Because I have nothing planned. Normally on Friday nights I go play Magic cards at my local store with some friends, but I'm obviously going to be skipping that to do this, right? So I will have 0 plans, and I won't have to get up early on Saturday because we are in the middle of the off season for the one sport that I actually follow. Even though I'm not on West Coast time, it's all right. I will power through for you. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't believe their permanent invite link that's on the webpage works. But if you just use the search function in Discord and search Final Fantasy Randomizer, you'll see it. It's pretty obvious. It's their logo. So. But yeah, you should probably join that because you won't be able to stream to them to host it if you don't. So, shoot, what were we talking about? I don't know. Yeah, high jump is great, but you do get some accidental high jumps because so if the input for high jump was up and jump, you would have all sorts of issues when trying to normal jump. So the input for high jump is up and backdash. I guess they wanted to take away the down up because that's a slightly higher execution, like you would have on whatever they're called, gravity boots. But sometimes when you hack, what usually gets me turned around while backdashing is accidentally hitting the wrong direction. But sometimes you just get an up as well. I don't know why on some controllers you'll be pushing down over and over and over, and then I don't know how my thumb's not on that half of the D-pad, let alone that quadrant, but somehow it's still read an up input. And I don't know if it's just like the force of maybe the down part of the thing coming back up that trips the up or whatever, but then you get an accidental high jump, which happens sometimes. So yeah, and the down up's already being used for invert with jump as well, so that that command's already occupied. So I mean, I don't disagree with them picking up and backdash as the input. It's a pretty solid one because you should never be hitting it unless you intend to, but with the way non-leverless controllers work, it's still possible to accidentally hit up. And since in like fighting games, there's a lot of shit that isn't cancelable. So if you accidentally hit the wrong direction, it won't matter. But in this game, where almost everything is cancelable by something, including falling animations and blah, 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 you can cancel out of a backdash with a high jump by accident all the time. So, yeah, if high jump was just one button, that would be sick as well. But you also want to be careful when it comes to like having it portable to Switch and stuff, other things with less buttons than Xbox, PlayStation. Also, I would have to put the map on a different button to have a button for it, I think. So quick map would have to go to like the back button or something, I guess, or like R3 or L3. So the game does actually utilize all the buttons for the most part. Oh yeah, you could default it to back. I have it on my left shoulder because I have backdash on B. If we're looking at an Xbox controller, I have backdash on B/circle for PlayStation, and then I have blue shards on right trigger. So I think I swapped those, and then LT is open, so then I put my map on LT. Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. I move. What the fuck is on B normally? Yeah, so I play with the Soten setup, basically. I play with Soten configuration, if you want to call it that.
Little input error there.
Yeah, the input for high jump is backdash plus up, or just backdash when you're in the air.
I don't think I explained this fight correctly, and why he spin wins and does nothing.
We'll get a little. And there we go. Since we're at high frame rate, we get to show off that.
Oh yeah, okay, you got it. High frame rate. Yep.
At high frame rate, just kind of turns back and forth. Polymorphosis is an interesting one. We're not really going to use it, but it turns Miriam into one of the enemies in the game.
Wrong glasses.
Now, we do have some movement options around here. There is the teleporter to grab a couple of yellows, purples to go after. Tony's going to be going down here to do one of the safety checks. So Getsuto can spawn in an additional spot right here. We unfortunately did not get it. That is a halfway decent headgear, but not the best.
I will say when mashing came up, I was on. I had my best mashing. The menu that I do towards the end, I'm mashing the hell out of it, and it goes pretty quick.
High jump makes for extremely fast vertical movement.
I did warm up before both runs, but I did more warm up before this one, and I was obviously way less nervous for this one because I already played. So, and I mean, I wasn't nervous, but you know, your body normally, like when you're about to do something that's unfamiliar, you generate adrenaline, and that sometimes, you know, fries your nerves and shit. Like not like oh god, obviously nothing bad's gonna happen to me. Like I'm functionally physically safe. But you know, you still have the adrenaline that is you're fighting against constantly, and then you also add on top of that you're in an unfamiliar area. You know, like I feel safe here, but also like I'm not in my pajama bottoms and my fucking comfy chair and at my setup and shit like that. But yeah, I mean, it was a great environment to be in, though. I have to say, it felt like what I thought it would be like to go to a really old GDQ, like the ones that were actually in a small hotel with only 50 people. That's what it felt like. And to be honest, I think I would be more interested in going to marathons like that. And I'm glad I went to this one because that's like a much more fun, like you're gonna make friends with basically everyone that's there. And especially if you like all the games that are being played, which conveniently for me, I'm a big RPG fan already. So like, there wasn't a thing there that I didn't kind of want to see. Like, I'm gonna go back and watch the overnight stuff during the week because there was a bunch of things on overnight that I wanted to watch that I just had to sleep during. But yeah, it was really cool, especially at the end when everything was over and it's like 2 a.m. Everybody's coming up and saying hi and like, hey, I didn't get to see your run, but I heard about it, and you know, I'm like, oh, thank you, and everybody was really nice, and you know, a lot of these people have been friends for a long time, and they've never met in person because they play randomizer, and randomizer doesn't get into a lot of these bigger events. A lot of people can't afford to go for a whole week or like 3 or 4 days to one of these more expensive things. So like that was really cool. You know, it was just like it was like a family, like, you know, small town vibe. And I think as much as I love the big city and like the big events and everything, you go to enough of those and you kind of go, maybe I do prefer like the smaller, you know, more like intimate's not the right word, and people use that shit to describe venues. It's not correct. Cozy, like the smaller, cozier venues where like you feel at home, like that. I think those are more fun. Like I would still go to a big event now, but like you're saying with GDQs, the reason is because of all the other stuff. Um, Back in the day when the games lists were more retro focused and there was more racing and more meme stuff and everything, there was more things for me. I look at game lists of GDQs now and I go, oh, this is cool. I'm glad this got in, but also I'm not interested in seeing like 90% of the stuff that's on the schedule. But going to the event now that it's an actual convention means you have the arcade, you have the practice rooms, you'll have a fighting game tournament, or you'll have the mystery fighting game tournament that Blitz runs, which is like, or you have Evil Zone, the Blitz runs, I think. Like that cool shit like that, which I totally would still go and spend the whole week because I want to do all that stuff. So like there's merit to those things, but like if I could only afford to go to one event, I would choose something like this, or RPG Limit Break, or like I would choose a smaller event, I think, if I could not afford to go to both. So like when next year rolls around and summer rolls around, if I have well, we did actually have Rock Band. Like Dark Moon brought Rock Band. We only had guitars. He didn't have drums, but maybe next year. But yeah, like I think the only thing I said on my forum of like, hey, what did you like? What do you think we could do better? Was like, I was like, I don't know if it's logistically possible, but having a bigger room, because you can hear some of the background noise in the runs, which is like that's unavoidable when you have the one room that's this size. But having like another room or a bigger room so that we could get the other people further away, so that there will be a clear 5 to 8 feet of space where the people up front and the runners could be in that spot, but then have the speakers far enough behind them to hit the room, so that there wouldn't be any kind of feedback or whatever. Like that's what I would go for. And I think if like this year with enough attendance, with the amount of money raised and everything that went well, and everything went well, and the hotel, like how many people came out and everything, I think that it's probably plausible that happens for next time around. And I think that's all it needs, right? And then you'd have practice space as well, which would be cool. Because if you want to practice on a console, most hotels have the TV in your room completely fucking like cut off. Like you can't even plug an HDMI or anything into it, because they want you to they don't want you to be able to plug your computer in and watch your shit from your computer, which is just asinine to me. But like not everybody can bring, a computer. Sometimes people play console, especially if they play original console, and not everybody can bring their own television with them and plug it in the fucking room. So having practice space is really convenient for that kind of thing. And having like other like community stuff, board games, Magic, community games, things like that. Having the space for that is awesome. And even if it's all in the same room, if the room's big enough, it's totally fine. So that's like the one thing I hope that we can do next year that should be very easy to do, and I think will cover like the only things like for suggestions for improvement. Like that's the only thing I can think of. Everything else was fantastic. So yeah, and it's different for this game. Like obviously, if I'm running a Super Nintendo game on emulator, I can bring my $400 laptop and I can fucking practice anywhere, right? But if I'm playing Bloodstained, which, despite how old it is, was made on Unreal Engine 4, and I'll reference the first run, even on a gaming laptop that's 4 to 5 years old, if it wasn't a pimped out gaming laptop, it can have weird issues. So like, if Intel didn't fucking write microcode so bad that my $2,000 gaming laptop sitting over there wasn't a fucking brick right now, I would have brought my own computer and we'd have been good to go. Like, Yeehaw saw it. I brought it with me to Chicago, and 3 months after that, the processor was fucking oxidized. So, like, that's what I mean by barrier of entry. It's like to ensure that your game is playable with your own equipment and bring it to the event. It could be more than what it costs to fly to the event. Or it could be like $100. It really depends on what game you play and like what it requires, right? So, for next year, I think that if we can get like a bigger room, or we can get 2 rooms, Like one is going to be the marathon room, the other one's going to be the side room with practice, with tournament matches, before the finals or whatever, blah blah blah. That would be sick. I did walk around the hotel a bit. They do have a much bigger room available, and I think depending on what week we book it, it will, and like how many people we can get to show up. That is certainly possible. So. Yeah, they do a winter marathon. That one I don't think will be live though, because traveling during the winter is a logistical nightmare. The drive for me was is 6 hours from where I lived to where the event was. A drive I'll happily do in June. A drive I would fucking never do in December, especially through Ohio. I don't live in Ohio, but it's in between where I'm at and where the marathon was, and driving through Ohio is not something I'd wish on my worst fucking enemies. So. Ooh. Yeah. The taint, they call it the taint of America for a reason. Anyway, let's get back to the fucking speeder.
Almost uncontrollable sometimes, but
Yeah, that's not bad for Gargoyle. It's like the third one I killed, probably. Second or third.
what's the scale armor? She's really not bad.
Yeah, the scale
That's good,
armor, that's another thing that can, I think, drop iron, so
Yeah,
there's
we
something
might
in the
not- I
shop.
don't know.
The shop has something that uses iron to craft it. We'll maybe check that out. I'm going to keep going, though, because I have vertical movement, so we can go through... Oh, there's an iron. All right.
That's iron. Okay, that's definitely something craftable.
So, like,
We'll want to check the shop later.
yeah.
3 purple drops in a row off Gargoyle.
Just because it can make some good items. It's evolved in several recipes.
And that acid jet that keeps dropping from those enemies is actually a poison. This guy drops a purple, but we probably
I tried to double jump there without having double jump.
Man,
It was 4 in a row. My bad.
acid jet.
It's raining acid jet, yeah.
I mean, it's great against Dominique.
Key item here.
Or garlic potato. Not the best.
Again, I was trying to dive kick downwards there for some reason. I don't have double jump. I don't know why I'm trying to.
The halfway boss, the fake one that can be fake.
It's because I had double jump in the run on Friday, I think.
Those Titanias are just jerks. Bloodbringer's kind of a jerk too.
Try to dive kick there as well.
And the broken
I'm like in my head. I'm like, why are you trying to dive kick, dummy? You don't have double jump.
key item and accessory behind it, so we can see what it is. Unicorn ring. It's okay for intelligence increase.
No idea how I got a high jump there. I was trying. Sometimes you try to turn around.
Max, are we
This is something worth talking about too. Sometimes you try to turn around to face the right way. You hit left or right slightly too high, and you get an up left or an up right. And if you're back, and then if you hit the back dash button too soon, that counts as an upwards plus back dash, and then you get a high jump. That happens quite often actually with the D-pad style controller. Less likely to happen with a joystick because you just have more control. You can't accidentally put your joystick into the diagonal gate if you have an 8-gate joystick like I do. But I also would have to learn how to play with it, and for whatever reason, I've never played platforms with an arcade stick. So I just like my brain. I can play Tekken with my joystick, but man, wrapping my brain around playing the game like this with my joystick, I don't even want to try it. Also, it's a Korean joystick, so it might actually be worse for something like this than a Japanese stick. I don't know. I don't know if you want snapback to neutral as much in a game like this. Probably not. I don't know.
did see in the Max Chaos? This is a breakable wall up here. This one has a key item in it. The key item is going to be in this chest, and it's a Zangetsu code, so we can take him. We can go get him. So we're halfway to go mode.
I don't know if that clapping was for me or for something else that was going on.
Yep.
I know Dark Moon knows the game somewhat. I don't know if Shidell knows the game at all. So actually, the person, so Luffy, whose computer I'm playing on, he ran Ori, which is obviously another Metroidvania. I think on Saturday, and when he saw, I'm thinking on Friday. I didn't on Friday night after the run. He was like, "Yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick up Bloodstained. I think it's on sale." I was like, "Oh yeah, hit me up. I'll whatever you want. I mean, play through the game first, of course. But so then I think he bought it, and then like I was playing around. He's like he fired it up. I think this was Saturday evening, and I showed him the settings real quick. I'm just like, yeah, if you want to uncap your frame rate, turn these two things off. The game's frame rate based, so if you want the best experience, you'll want this off because more frames are good. Yeah, so he's definitely gonna probably check it out. So we might even have some more people playing it next year, which would be pretty cool.
And there is
The attic almost always has it, huh?
yeah, it's almost always attic. Yeah, and you're gonna check the
I'm
save
taking a
room seal
safety
up.
save here, yeah.
Yeah, just in case something goofy.
It's always attic, and Kamikaze always has the purple. Except for like the few times that they don't.
happens.
Well, with this much damage, it's sometimes easy to overkill our mini boss here, and we don't want to do that because we'll get the bad ending. So, all right.
Marathon safety save.
So we're gonna do about 90% of the damage to G.
It's really heartwarming actually watching this because the person I mentioned in the beginning that did all the tech work and like lugged the equipment across, like I think 20 hours of driving or more actually than that, Jay Scheidel is right here sitting on the couch. So he actually got to take a break while I was doing this, which makes me happy because of what we went through on Friday night. And he worked so hard, and he was. I mean, obviously the MVPs of the marathon are everybody that donated, but like the actual MVP working live, this is the guy right here. So you'll see his face on the back of shirts if you watch the thing back. This guy, I can't say enough good things about this guy.
Evil, and then the moon's gonna turn red, and we're gonna jump up there and cut it. There's really no weapon better than Zangetsu.
So I think I miscounted here. Because like I thought I had him like within a hit, and I was probably counting my taps and not my actual damage ticks. So he lives like 5 to 10 seconds longer than he should have.
Tep Surrender is actually one of my favorite charges in the game.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, 250 he won't die. Then doing another 250. I'm like, wow, did I like completely lose count?
Really?
It's because you got hit by that ice shard.
Yeah.
A little stagger maybe.
What I'm thinking is, I'm like, he's not even the damage threshold yet.
This is Hellhound. We have that one.
The thing is, you still have to do the math in your own head of how much damage you're doing, and then subtract that from his health, and then, it's like, and then you're thinking about other shit, So there I saw I have a ring. So I got a ring drop somewhere and didn't notice that I got a ring drop. That's why I stopped. I'm like, oh, I already have a ring. So I'm going to go check the shop now. Well, you check the shop anyway. Oh, you called it out? Okay. Yeah, I didn't remember here. I'm sure you said it, but it did not register in my brain. So like I saw the ring and went, oh, I have the ring. So now I'm definitely going to go check and see what's craftable with this ring.
Okay.
Try to save everything for one menu there.
Waystone back. Check the shop. Check crafting.
Here's what I've turned up on the monsters.
See if there's anything really worth doing in there. There's the food back on the boat, but probably
What are we
not.
transmuting this
All
time?
right, let's see what we can craft.
Hello.
Hello, Jeeble's glasses. Infinite energy as long as you have that, and yeah, we have Fall Tyob and Hellhound, so we have combat basically.
What I'm realizing now is that even though I equipped Jeeble's glasses right here, I did not hold down Feltide for the entire run. While I was using it, I was still spamming it like I did not have glasses. That's how little I've been getting glasses in practice.
Solved.
That's good news. All right.
Or maybe I'm wrong, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I didn't hold it down at all.
First
which
there's also
you should just hold it down once you get infinite MP, unless you need to move.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang on to it just for the range because we don't have anything else with range right now.
Yeah, man, I'm just watching the run back. Kill a bug there. I'm just watching the run back, and then I'm gonna do the STSC that Rainbow gave to me after this, and then it's gonna be pretty short tonight, and then I'm gonna call it because I'm still really tired. You know, I went to work today and I was feeling it all day, so you know, no worries if you can't get back in time, but I will be here for a little while.
don't need any ethers.
I'm glad I remembered I have a high jump here.
Now, it's kind of your call at this point what we're going to do. If we're going to go back and look at some of the stuff that we skipped over, we're going to try to...
Yeah, I think that's the most dense area, so we're gonna stick with that.
Yeah, because like now my plan in my head is now okay. It's probably not Bone Mort because you told me to leave Bone Mort. But my plan now is to go down into Garden, go across the big gap, and go to the room with the one Toad and the one Poomparm in it, and do those. And then after that, it's gonna be go right because we have the Bromide, and then go up in the library, get Laraj out of the way because I left him. We got a gargoyle, yeah. So then it was gonna be go in, probably get Solano, get Shield Outsider. I was probably gonna leave Shield Outsider and come back, but like yeah, do that. Get Solano in that first room, then Laraj in library, pick up the books, get the second movement. Or get a second white shard, and then go back down, probably go to train after that. Or I could maybe have even done DeCabria and then train, depending on like, you know, where it was. But with the C being quick, it was like, all right, well, it's probably in the beginning somewhere. I doubt we'd have to go, or it could be D somehow, which is accessible basically right from the beginning. You know, if you can swim, but since we couldn't swim, I was like, okay, so we can't get to them, so it's probably not there. So it's got to be somewhere else. The early Bromide made me think, oh shit, do I have to go train early? But I'm like, no, worse is probably Laraj or DeCabria or something. So I was gonna do those, get them out of the way, and then you know go up and do books first, and then probably DeCabria after that. And then I figured it was somewhere there because we know this is a vetted semi-jet basically. I remember I have Hellhound. That's good because I forget I have Hellhound the first time I fight Dom.
High MP and max stats. You're looking at high 4-digit damage out of...
I realize I'm in the wrong position. I should be over here.
Things will die.
Okay, that's don't need that technically, yeah. Well, we could use it to go to some other areas, but
there are probably areas we're not going to need to go to.
Yeah, unlikely.
Right,
That's the wrong DS.
Okay, well, I mean, there's still the garden stuff to check.
Yep, and I'm gonna go this way because I don't care about melee weapons and checking those weapon chests up below. And the area I want to go to next, it's on the other side of this big room that we were in before because it lets me do Toad and Plume Parma, which you don't have, in the same room. Although I don't have a beam weapon, so it won't be as fast as it normally would be, where I can just reset the room and you know, like hit them both at the same time. It's still gonna be pretty quick. So, actually, let's. Okay, that could have been like a decent, you know,
Could have been a
consumable.
promotion.
Yeah. Oh, didn't mean to talk to him.
LOL, lucky.
Dimension shift.
Like I was just like gonna kill the next Toad, and then go to the.
Okay. I don't even need a waystone. We can just go this way.
Yeah, I paused the waystone, and I'm like, wait a minute, just go right here.
Yeah, we have everything we need to beat the game at this point. The only thing is, if we collect a little bit more stuff to get some money or even some potions, we may want to run back and grab some more healing, but...
Yeah, conveniently there's a teleporter room in the very last area that we can go ahead and utilize to do that. I have high potions, so we should be able to get through this without too much trouble.
This is a key item. That is, that's actually the pool that Johannes is supposed to give you at the start of the game. It's supposed to allow you to craft like some really low-level stuff, basic potions.
I should have a quick dimension shift
Unfortunately, we
here.
don't have any horizontal movement here, but that's okay.
Scrumptious.
Yeah, the horizontal movement and the enemies in this area hit like a truck.
So I healed there
Yeah,
correctly.
this is an endgame area.
I don't know why I didn't heal in the first boss fight.
From the tiny, huge island.
I get freaking elbowed down to 1 HP. And you would think that would be like, oh, just heal
All right, and we are definitely just blasting right through this.
when you get to like, you know, low. And for whatever reason, I'm just like, no, I can take another hit from Bale, no problem. And fucking, nope.
I swear that one giant rat always just catches people for no reason. That bad-
I should have already had this equipped.
Dimension shift. Dimension shift.
that accidental up was actually kind of a bug.
See, it's actually that Mort's fault. He wouldn't have hit me. No.
2,000 gold. That's actually
No, we save, of course, before the last fight.
more high potions.
I keep trying to double jump, I don't have it.
There it is, yeah.
That wasn't exactly necessary, but hey, it's right there.
Yeah, I don't know why I grabbed
I
that.
just was hoping it was health, so I went for it.
Dimension shift. Dimension shift. Dimension shift.
Yeah, I think if I'd have got a little bit higher on that angle of dimension shift, I would have gotten up high enough to dimension shift again without getting hit.
Not exactly what we're looking for here, but
Stuff. I can't really complain though because I can't remember if it was the second to last practice or the last practice I did with Yeast commentary, but
Yeah,
I was underwater without.
Yeah, so with same type, like...
It was in caverns without being able to swim, and I got the ridiculous, stupid.
That's a lot of the breakable walls in the game, which is why you don't see me breaking a whole lot of walls.
Like,
This one,
I think
breaking a lot of walls.
I can't remember if I had double jump or not, but it's like
all right,
it's the big room where you can go up into the middle,
Yeah, cool,
and it's got the water, and you got to go underneath the little small pillar, and then you come into the room with the breakable platforms, and then the next room is the D-summer room to the left.
random elementals.
And I got the like dive down in dimension shift to the other side on like the first try. I think I've only got it like once or twice before ever, because it just doesn't come up very often. But man, hitting that, I'm like, all right, I feel pretty good about the marathon now.
See, they can just turn directions on you for no reason. All right,
Yeah, I'm hitting these blues hoping for food. That's all, really.
we want to show off that last check. Yeah, show off these last checks here. This is kind of like the bailout place to check on everything. Always an armor, always some sort of
Accessory.
and
Yeah.
there's going to be some sort of stat up in that room. We tend to call it the bailout room because it's the last possible place you can find Jeeble's glasses just sitting around.
Yeah, and if you're racing me, just go to that room. You'll get Jeeble's glasses for sure.
Sword fragments is sellable. Let's see what we can get out of that one. Poison Kuruki isn't the worst. Wouldn't be the worst thing.
Yeah, but I have acid jet, like level 4.
All right, levels.
I'm mashing here so hard.
It expands.
You can probably hear it. Yeah, you can. Okay.
Tell me.
So I have a headset on, which is not going to pick up noise as much as like the microphone will. This microphone picks up my mashing all the
The
time.
nastiness of the room.
But it's also because it's a Blue Yeti microphone. It's trash. If I had money, I would buy a real microphone and an audio mixer, and you would never hear me mashing. But you know, what can you do?
Alright, let's fight the menu boss real quick.
Yeah,
I think I should have kept the crit ring.
yeah, fighting the menu boss can be a thing.
Did I buy?
I'm not gonna have enough, I don't think, for more than one.
Yeah, one's still plenty.
Yeah, if you don't get us hit. I got hit a lot in the first fight too, which is a big problem.
He finished in 25:14:56.
Well, he's way better than me, so that's cool.
He did like the seed.
Yeah.
I
you get
like
to
the
see
seed
him.
too.
Yeah,
Truth.
you'll actually get to see him play Friday. We're doing a bonus run. He's on West Coast time, so it'll be a little later, but that'll give the audience a chance to see somebody who's got like really good combat skills. Like there's a lot of the movement we're doing here is cancelable, like with all sorts of stuff, and you can fit melee swings into a lot of that. And the best players can do that. It's not something that a lot of us can do, but you know, tune in for that.
For dimension shift, that one can be tricky.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The good thing is, even if you don't like get super good at the combat, you can still compete like in races of this game because, you know, we only saw about like a quarter of the castle, and if you just pick the right place to go, or you get like the right drops, you know, you can still beat the best players with relative ease. You know, it's not going to happen a ton, but you know, if you know what you're doing, it counts a lot more in this game than it would in say a game that's more execution heavy.
All right, we're gonna get the safety saved in case anything goes wrong. And Axel says
I think that's a pretty fair statement.
That I recommend watching the Zangetsu parries. They are very fun to watch.
I could go for it, but I mean,
I went for it right there and got. I went for the parry and fucking did not input correctly for because the katana input's weird. Yeah, I don't know why I'm mashing here instead of just holding it on her.
All right, so
What am I doing?
that spell that you just used to poison her doesn't do a lot of damage initially.
Trying to get sub 30, I think.
54 poison damage every tick. And
Yeah, I get hit by a lot of scars in this one.
especially at these low levels. This isn't like when we ran the max on Friday where we were pretty well leveled. We are way under leveled here.
you can kind of bait her into what you want her to do sometimes, but if she decides to do what she wants to do, what you do doesn't matter. Like you can kind of manipulate her into like swinging high if you're, you know, jumping, and swinging low if you're crouching. If she decides to do something that's not swinging the scarf, yeah, you got nailed there. Clip that. Clip that.
1 HP, baby, let's go! If only I finished this off.
So she's doing all the upgraded attacks.
Freaking up. She elbows me the first fucking frame out of
The Dragon's Fire only does a little bit of damage,
Nausea.
but contact with the body hits you significantly harder.
Elbows me again.
Alright, advanced fire spell, which means there's going to be... Oh, how did that happen?
Stop elbowing.
Can I call bullshit on that real quick? I'm up and above her diagonally to the opposite side of the elbow, and I get hit. I mean, I love this game, but I also hate this game.
I mean, that would be great.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't duck there and not take that scarf to the face.
To bail. This is where Hellhound is really going to come in handy.
We got time for a couple quick donations while this is loading.
Yeah, throw him in.
All right, we got
We've got
a
some auto
$35 donation from Christopher Warkin, $25 for the war criminal to pay for his crimes, $5 to name a character Wark.
Oh, you fucking cursed me, you bastard! You say your bail will be much better, you know. But then I forgot. Yeah, I forgot that. I forgot I had Hellhound.
In the final
I'm running around here trying to fucking foul Taib and dying.
5 more for a character to be named Crow in the final run. And then
When a pitcher is having a great game, you don't talk to him, man.
because it's very on brand, we got a
I couldn't see
Dimension
chat, but
Shift train going right now. Dark Moon $5, Sprocket Dance $5, Dimension Shifts all around.
yeah, why am I not? What did I get hit by? Oh, now I remember.
309 damage off of that.
Now I remember. What did I get hit by that killed me? Was it the green stuff? Oh no, it was the beam. 146?
Well,
That's why we saved right outside the room.
Now the refight is clean. I don't get hit by much in this at all. I just leave him. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. She's getting hounded.
Now, should you decide to play this seed specifically, much as Axel.
Yeah, I think that's like the. I don't think I only get hit by scarves twice.
Where you can get the stuff to craft jewels.
Yeah, like I'm juking like
2 iron will craft.
I just get in the zone. Okay, I get hit by that.
Which is one of the.
But I think I'm good after this.
That the seed actually has access to. Oh, we're in part
I
2.
I left it on. I left it on.
The archers in the.
Okay, I did get hit there. All right, I got hit one more time. Nothing you can do about elbows.
Paintings have Tep cell render.
Oh, she hit me again there, huh?
Yeah, one of the downsides to Hellhound is that it eats your visual.
Got it. Never mind. I got hit a bunch.
Yeah, I can't see.
You can't see much. You beat the hell out of everybody, but you can't see what you're doing.
That's a classic. You die once and then you just come back and you destroy it. You know.
Yeah.
We're gonna get cat RNG now. Watch.
Yeah, we're gonna get cat RNG now.
It doesn't matter. We have.
Yeah, Barber has
high
Barber
jump.
has augment int. It's
Cat RNG is only bad if you don't have invert or high jump, because then you have a way to just dodge the lava pit.
all right. We got Thraw, huh?
We'll
Same
take that. Yeah.
with
That's actually better than what we had before.
Yeah, it's always nice to have high jump and double jump. Like, invert's fine and all, but it's so slow.
Yeah, that Tis Wraith can be a problem because there's times where you'll get too much noise generation stuff on the screen and you just can't hear it spawning, and then you just get plastered. Okay. So he's gonna spit at us, and the cat's gonna yell at us.
Time.
And it's not gonna matter because that's time. The cat did start yelling at us.
Alright, well, that was fun because we got to do it without any of the technical issues, so, you know, but...
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that. Sub 35. Not bad. So... I don't remember either. But yeah, I'm good with that. I can live with that one. That, I mean, like I said, the Friday thing, given the circumstances, actually went really well. Like, if you look back at like what we had to deal with, again, I died on the final boss, but outside of that, it actually went pretty well. I think there was some issues as well where like Yeehaw could not hear the host, and I actually couldn't hear the host in my headphones either, but I was sitting right next to him, so I was able to hear him. So if you're wondering like what was going on there, that was another like weird audio thing that we had to deal with. So this is the first time they did this live, and you can test things a dozen times, and then you hook everything up to the marathon setup, and then shit happens. So it happened on a bunch of stuff. Like Jay fucking worked his ass off. He did a great job getting everything just to work at all, let alone getting it working well, right? So we had a combination of remote and live people for a bunch of races. And yeah, I mean, I think I said this on social media, 11 out of 10. I'm definitely going to go again next year, whether I'm in it or not. If I don't have some other weird event that is on the same weekend, it's not that bad of a drive. The hotel pricing was pretty great, actually. Way less money than I thought it was going to be for the special rate that we got. Everybody that I met was cool. Like I liked everybody in all the various communities, and it was pretty good. The hotel is right in the middle of downtown Charleston, so you can kind of just like walk around to a lot of different stuff. You're within like a mile of the Capitol building. You can walk down there and check that out. You're on a river, so you can kind of like walk. You can, if you're like a runner or like a jogger, you can get up early in the morning and run and jog right along the river. So it's really nice. It has its own parking garage and stuff, and I believe for us with the con rate it was included. to be able to park. So yeah, I think I mean I what was it? I think it was 129 a night for a double bed, which is probably like around half or less than half of what it would cost you normally, I think. So, I mean, no guarantees that we'll get that good of a rate the next year, but we might, or, you never know. Um, but yeah, it's definitely affordable. And since I think it's the biggest city in the state, the airport is pretty close as well. So if you need to fly in, like several people did, it's not too bad of a ride from the airport um, to downtown Charleston. So as far as I understand, I had family in the state, but they were in the north side, and I had not been since I was like 10 years old. So I couldn't say exactly like how good the flight, in and out will be. But yeah, it's a definitely a great group of people. It's a great charity as well. I think I've said this before in practice videos, but it's a smaller charity that definitely needs more help, um, especially with what's going on in our country right now. And a lot of these grants and stuff that these smaller charities get that they need to survive, being taken away from them for quite literally no good reason. I'll get on the soapbox for a second here and say these views are mine and do not reflect anyone else's, but I'm sure there's plenty of people that will chime in and share that they agree with me on this. In a country where we have ridiculous abundance, there's so many people that are can't afford to buy a home, can't afford to, quit their second job, can't afford health insurance, which they shouldn't even have to afford in the first place. And the fact that our military budget grows by 50 to 70 billion dollars every year, we don't know where half of the money is. It took until 2025 for Congress to agree that the military should have the right to repair these $1 million machines that they buy and shit like that. It's ridiculous to me that these small charities that get a couple of 5-figure grants in a year to stay in operation, to pay their property tax for the building, and these people that are working full-time jobs but then also volunteering their time to the charity to run the charity, they really need the help and to work with an organization that really needs the help and is a very important organization in the location that they're in. So if you watch this marathon from start to finish, I think it is mentioned a couple of different times, but in the very beginning, Kristen from the charity is on, and she mentions that in Rockford, Illinois, where the Liam Foundation is located, they are the only support line for the LGBTQI plus community within a 60-minute drive in any direction. So if you are from that area, this is literally the only resource you have to get help, if you need assistance. And that's just super important. And I'm glad that we were able to not only work with a charity that needs the help a lot, that it's important in its community, like super important in its community, but also that we broke the record for previous marathons. We raised over $10,000 in this marathon. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the end, which is, I think, several $1,000s, or it's a couple $1,000s more, and it also brought the running total to over 40,000. So we did, in this one marathon, I think it's been happening for several years now, we did a quarter of the total money and we broke a record. So, it was really great to be a part of that. Like I said, I had a great time. It's the right time of year. So the weather, even when the weather's bad, it's not too bad. If you can stand getting rained on a little bit, you'll still have, it's still easy to walk around outside. And the drive is not too bad, which saves me money because I don't have to, I have a hybrid as well, so I spend a lot less money in gas. I can get there and back on a tank and a half. So that's pretty good. So yeah, I definitely mark in my calendar for next year. I think that there's a very, very high chance that we will be able to do this live again. And, I highly recommend anybody who lives in the Midwest, if you can drive to Charleston, West Virginia to, set aside the time and plan on coming, even just to watch, it's a great time. You know, the badge cost is basically the same as any other convention out there, and you know, if you have to fly, it's not too bad. You might just have to, you might be stuck with a connection. You know, it really depends on where you live. If you don't live by a hub airport, you might be stuck with a connection. But yeah, I think it's worth it. I think if you're going to do something in the summer and, you know, you have to decide between this and Summer Games done quick, well, I mean, I can't say to not go to the gigantic event that's, you know, massive and all that. But I think that if you looking for something smaller, this is the perfect place to be. If you like randomizers, this is an all randomizer marathon. Like, you can't really get better than that. It's got a good variety. There's RPGs, there's action games. You know, we had a Link Between Worlds, we had Golden Sun. You know, we had a bunch of different RPGs. You know, so we had Castlevanias. You know, we had an NES Castlevania. We had a modern Castlevania. So, you know, we had an Ori. You know, so we have Metroidvanias. So yeah, I mean, and there's an inflatable couch, man. Come on, how can you not love that? The inflatable couch was so hilarious. I mean, they filled that up once on Thursday, and that thing stayed inflated the whole time. So, good quality on that. But yeah, yeah, I'm super glad I did it. I'm definitely going to go next year if everything lines up. And I believe that next year they're probably going to shoot for maybe a weekend earlier, just so that, you know, it doesn't overlap with Father's Day. And I think that the city's Pride is also the weekend before, so that kind of like lines up with the charity. It lines up with, you know, the values and everything. So that is like a nice little tie-in. And then, you know, that actually should dramatically reduce the cost of flights. I think a lot of the people that did have to fly were looking at costs, and they were like trying to compare them to like the week after, the week before, and the weekend of Father's Day. You know, like any holiday, even if it's not like a federal you get time off holiday, always raises the cost of flights. So, you know, there's probably a bit of that in there. So if you're going to fly in next year and it's the weekend that they choose will be slightly different, you'll save some money that way, and I think it's definitely worth coming in to check it out. You know. I don't know what my plans are for next year in terms of like traveling. I was looking at Europe because I haven't been to Europe since 23, and I spent way too long, over 20 years in between my two trips, my last trip to Europe and the one before that. So I definitely do want to go back. So that might eat up my flying trip next year, but when it comes to an easy drive and like taking a weekend off, this is definitely my priority pick for heading back. And they did everybody there was like, yeah, you know, you're cool, we enjoyed you being here, so it's cool to be mutually liked. It's cool to have you know, people say, hey, we enjoyed your company as well, so we'd love to have you back and everything. So yeah, I think in some shape or form, whether it's playing, commentating, hosting, or like helping in any other way, I definitely will be looking to go back next year. You know, I can't, again, I don't know what may come up. You know, life happens, but as of right now, I'm planning on going back, assuming the event is live in person again. So yeah, let's play a game. And I think this one, I only have one note, I believe, from Rainbow, and I think it was that glasses are on the normal path. So that means the siege should be relatively quick, probably under an hour, if I were to guess. Oh, and I guess I'll just casually mention too that now that the marathon's done, let me not blow out everybody's ears here. Turn this down. Yeah, now that the marathon's all done, I'm definitely going to step back from playing Bloodstained a little bit. I mean, I was playing like 4 to 5 days a week before I had some health issues, and then I spaced it out a little bit more. But I'm still going to play. Obviously, I love the game. But I'm going to go back to my normal kind of like rotation of stuff. So I'm looking to pick up FFR. and also Worlds Collide for the Final Fantasy VI randomizer as well. So in the next like month or two, you'll probably see me playing those a bit and trying to learn them. I'm probably going to start with Worlds Collide because I know most of the map already. But FFR, I think I will probably play soon because I really dig it, and I like that you can like get random party members and all that stuff. But I have to relearn the map because I mean I've only played through Final Fantasy 1 maybe 2 or 3 times in my life. I've watched a decent amount of it, but it's been sporadic, right? So I really need to learn the map. I need to learn all the fetch quest items and where all that stuff, and like where all the enemy tiles are, where all the chests are, things like that. So there's a lot more prep work I'm going to have to do to learn that. But one thing I might be able to finagle with that though is if depending on when Luffy wants to learn Bloodstained, he said he was going to hit me up when he's ready. If we can set it up, what I'd love to do is while I'm teaching him Bloodstain is for him to teach me FFR. So that would be pretty cool. I think that would be and that would be something we could definitely like record and have them put up on their channel and stuff, and maybe help out a little bit more. Because I already play Final Fantasy IV randomizer a bit, so yeah. Let me. Okay, I'm going to use the restroom real quick, refill my water, and then we will go on this. I was also flirting with all bosses for Bloodstained. I was thinking about trying to offer that. The thing is OD. That's the problem. I don't know. I'd be all. It would be kind of all bosses, or most bosses, or some weird name. sorry for the pause there for anybody watching this back, but I mean, you probably just tuned in to see the marathon chatting anyway, so you probably don't care about this run. All right. Obtain type. Yep. Okay. Sorry, you just. The cord on this thing is so long, which is great because it's wired, you know, but it's designed for you to also be able to use it on console, I believe. But when I'm sitting right next to my computer, I don't need all this cord here. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1, and Bloodstained. All right. Broski is up first. Yeah, like my FPS right now is like 575. Like it's fluctuating between like 500 and 600. So, you know, it does help to have a really good graphics card and a decent processor. Ooh. Well, I tried to hit him. I was like, this is more damage, right? Yeah, it is. I was like, I picked up something. What did I pick up? Oh yeah. An S word. I didn't get it. Man. Neither seed has a good scarf. I'm sad. Of course, he has 16 HP. Shouldn't have killed that guy. I was gonna say, this is Hellhound. Yeah, and I mean, it's not like they're, FFR is not, like, closed off to any style of randomizer, per se, you know, I mean, they reached out to us for this, probably because it's a Metroidvania, and there's already a couple Metroidvanias that they had in mind, but, you know, anything RPG or Metroidvania, I think, is safe to submit, for sure. You know, we had a bunch of stuff, and then, like, you know, any of the classics, I think, they'd love to probably have, like, a Super Metroid, or a Link to the Past, or, you know, whatever. So, yeah, Kingdom Hearts, you know, the 3D Zeldas, I'm sure that, like, you know, they'd be open to any of those. You know, if they get enough good submissions, too, there's a potential they might even try to do a little bit extra of a runtime, you know? And if you can play overnight, or late at night, depending on the time zone difference and all that, you can definitely probably get multiple games in as well. So if you're remote, of course. I don't think I've ever used this thing. One more attack than the red beast, so whatever. Well, they also have multiple channels as well, so what could happen in theory is they could get up FFR2, and if you have like a really long run, they could put it on the other channel, potentially. And then that would probably be a remote one though, or like you would be like streaming from Discord to like somebody else's setup, or whatever. Sunglasses, I don't give a shit about. But I think 1 year, I can't remember if it was ESA or somebody, but like they had like a really long event. I can't remember if why, but instead of a week, I think it was 2 weeks long. So they had Baiten Katos 100%, or I think that's the name of the game. It's an RPG. Gross. And in order to get 100%, there's an item that actually has to gestate, basically. Like it's like a crafted or a generated item, and it has to like gestate for like two weeks of game time or something like that. So like it led off the event, and then it closed the event, I think, because and then they like kept like a small cam on it. And like, so the guy speed runs like the 10 hours or whatever of the game actually is, and then he sits in the corner, and then like it's just chilling there, and they finish. It was, I mean, it's really cool, right? So, yeah, I mean, if enough people like submit and stuff, and they can get enough for like a secondary stream, it's definitely possible. It's just going to be a matter of getting enough volunteers and stuff to be able to run that secondary stream. I mean, it'll be easy to do because it would just be like, you would just stream to Discord, and then they would stream it, they would restream it to the second channel or whatever, and then the regular live event would proceed. The key is just like, it was all hands on deck for the marathon, of course, so like between Scheidel, Mecklin, and everybody else, they have to sleep at some point, so they would need some help, or some more staff, basically. Yeah, I mean, ESA had 2 streams for a couple of years. They had like a purple and a yellow, or like a red and a something, or whatever. So that's happened before. It's not unprecedented. Nice. For some reason, I couldn't remember if Beaumort dropped for me or not, and he definitely did. And definitely feeling not having that extra 10 strength. So, I think when I come back to this game, and I don't know when that's going to be, like, not come back, I mean, I'm not leaving it, but I think when I, like, want to play it a little, at a higher rate again, maybe like a few months, maybe sometime in the fall, I want to learn how to do the stupid infinite jumps with Kung Fu shoes, and then I want to learn combat, or at least I want to try. You know, I want to give it a shot and see how it goes. You know, and if I fail miserably at learning how to do both, then that's fine. But the only thing is, I don't really have like somebody that can give me like a good tutorial. I was trying to figure out the melee combat on my own, but it just wasn't computing in my brain. I was like, all right, so I go jump slash, land slash, backdash, cancel with a jump slash again, and then repeat that somehow. And I think that's correct, but I was like trying to get my fingers to do that, and my fingers were just not doing it. Which is weird, because I used to be able to do triangle jumps in Marvel, but I can't fucking do the combat. Although when I was doing triangle jumps in Marvel, it was 20 years ago, so maybe that has something to do with it. As much as I love Iron Man, there's no way I'm ever going to go back and learn fucking box jumps. Suck on that. No thank you. The Ravishing Shard. Oh. Oh. Oh yeah, this is like 30 plus attack, I think. What else do... Oh. Wow, rare drop twice in a row. Yeah, I must say, like, one of the coolest things that's ever happened in Marvel to me was, like, we secretly found out Iron Man was one of the toppest of top tier characters in the game, like, 3 years ago. Or 4 years ago? Sorry. No, 5 years. Yeah. 2019, 2020. Yeah, so 5.5 years. I mean, well, like, 20 years after Marvel 2 came out, we found out that Iron Man was insane. I mean, the execution barrier is nuts for it, but there's several players that are pretty good at it, so... Just wanted to make sure the game wasn't glitched. Oh no, Justin's not fucking learning how to do that Iron Man shit. He arguably plays one of the best teams in MVC2 already, and it's way easier. He doesn't have to do any fucking triangle jumps at all with any of his characters. But basically, Iron Man has the best infinite in the game, but you have to do a square jump to be able to do it. And the reason it's the best infinite is because it's effectively unavoidable on entry. So if you catch the first character with it, if you execute perfectly, there's no way to get out of it with the incoming character. So you basically get a fucking cable wipe for free, but not for free. You have to execute it, but you don't need meter. Like that's the That's like why it's so good. It rarely happens because it's so hard to do. But yeah, in theory, like you get guard broke by it as soon as you come in. So there's nothing you can do. Oh yeah, Justin's YouTube channel is the shit. I mean, I was watching him play Power Stone 1. It was amazing. He's one of the best for sure. I mean, like personality and player, you know. Yeah, the Ratio 4 damn video was great. I mean, it was always going to be shortcut. Let's not kid ourselves. Come on. Although this is vetted, so I'm kind of surprised actually that was shortcut. I'm assuming that since this is vetted, that this is safety invert is 100%. Yeah. You know, early starter belt or moon belt too is pretty good, so save a lot of time. Do I check this weapon chest with reflector ray? Nah, come on. Forgot what red I had equipped, not gonna lie. I actually agree with that. I don't know why that would be an unpopular opinion. It's actually way better because, yeah, okay, sure, you can unlock whatever, but it's faster, and you're probably going to need to find... Invert only is miserable. Let me get this real quick, and then I'll talk. Invert only is miserable, and you're going to probably have to find something to get you through a small space at some point anyway. And I'd rather run around the castle looking for that. Like a reflector ray, a DS, or invert proper with high jump than anything else. Okay, I'm actually not going to go down right away. This is a new strategy I've been trying for this reflector ray double jump scenario. I don't know if it's going to pay off. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything. Yeah, because high jump gets you into Hall, which I think is all that you really need. Okay. Well. Let me climb and then I'll explain myself. Okay. So, in the scenario where you have... I've been working on this theory for like... I want to say like a month and a half. So basically, since while I was like... When I was like laying in bed with my fucking like, you know, body shot after that first week of practice, I was thinking about Bloodstained because I couldn't play. It's like, well, I may as well think about it if I can't play for like a couple days. And I wasn't getting better, and you know, I made the changes. God damn it. And so I thought about this strat, and I thought, all right, in this scenario where we get double jump or reflector ray, but we don't have, you know, safety invert or whatever. So I mean, we have safety invert, so it doesn't really apply to the C. But I just wanted to try it out. I'm just gonna invert here. In the event you have, you know, like say that bloodless is required, basically, right? So you have, you know, shortcut, no safety, but you have, or you have double jump, no safety, etc. I don't have Z, do I? Oops. No, I don't. Okay, so playing and explaining this at the same time. So in the event you get double jump or reflect array and you don't have any vertical movement, but you also have moon belt or accelerator, obviously, or strider belt. I like going and farming Larage there because the only purple in library in STS is Larage, I think. Like, am I wrong? So if you can get it there, you can just skip library a lot more than you would normally. Well, yeah, like it's Larage, and then like that. I think that's it. I'm trying to think. I mean, technically this guy, but I mean, you you ain't gonna get this drop very often. I think it's 5%. Yeah, so like I was thinking, like if you can make that room with the single Larage in it not abysmal to farm, you should get that first, then drop through the floor, and do, you know, the safety check and the, you know, gargoyle, or dog, get the teleporter, check the accessory, blah blah blah. So that was my like thought of strategy. Like I just went, even though I had invert and I could have just went up and ignored everything. I could have went down and came back up. I just kind of like wanted to see what would have happened if like we didn't have it. I just kind of wanted to see my strat in action because I haven't had a seed to test my strat since I thought of it. So I just kind of wanted to see what would happen. I mean, I've had double jump, I've had reflect array, but I haven't had movement, like horizontal movement, to go with it. And I think farming Larage there without horizontal movement really does suck. But I think it's worse to try to farm him, you know, when you don't have movement and you're trying to farm him in the frickin', you know, rooms with bells and shit. So even if Larage dropped the garbage purple there, I was probably going to go back and do the other stuff, but since he dropped Dimension Shift, I would be like, okay, well, I'm going to play this like I don't have invert.
I'll go with this.
Okay, I was like, if I don't 3-hit this, then I will orphan it, but... Oh, I put English voices. I normally play with Japanese voices. I put English voices on for the last couple practice sessions because I knew we were going to be playing with English voices on. I just forgot to switch them back. Sure.
Here's what I've turned out for monsters.
So, what'll it be?
Daggers. I actually might make that for the luck.
I'll go with this. I'll go with this. I'll go with
Did I make 2? No, because I have Strider Belt. You don't play with sound? Oh, okay. That's interesting. Not on my bingo card. I mean, I play with really low sound, but I don't play without it. We have a Diablo cap. Santa hats. Grams in the shop if we can find G's. Ice rings if we can find... Strims. Oh, I get what you mean. You, if you're so good that you don't have to pay attention, so you get to watch movies and shit while you play. Got it. I'm okay. So this is a weird route divergence, but bear with me on this one. So instead of teleporting right back to the library, yeah, I did all these, right? Yeah. I didn't do Ordog though. And I wouldn't do this if I didn't have horizontal movement. Maybe one day I'll get there. Maybe one day I'll be a top 5 runner of this game. Maybe one day. Oh, man. Is this even randomized? Dude, I was gonna say, that's like Toxic Storm. Like, let's go. I don't know why I didn't just dimension shift through the... Well, we already got Gargoyle. He dropped for us. But anyway, I was gonna do Larage and then Shield Outsider as well. That was my plan. Okay. I mean, I checked. I mean, maybe Rainbow had the wrong notes, but I'm pretty sure it was suggested that glasses were on the normal path, and I have not found them, so... Did I not check the accessory room in the tower? I think that's the only thing I've skipped. Oh, it could be in the bottom room in the library. Maybe that's where it is. Or in TTD somewhere. No, but I have Go mode now. Maybe it's in the meme spot? Oh, no, it could be here. Yeah, it could be here. Maybe it's here in the meme spot or something. Oh my god. God, if I had just played this the way I should have played it... LOL. Yeah, I mean, like, damage is the only thing I'm thinking about now. Yeah, I may as well go do this first. Because I'm doing this either way. I'm grabbing a second book no matter what I do. It's just going to be intelligence book now instead of luck book. I'm not going to kill Andre because it's probably invert. Every time there's a safety invert, usually Andre has invert, so I'm just not going to bother. Or maybe I'll save split it and kill her just to because if it is double jump or something, God, that makes traversing through the uh, Sir, a word? Your hitbox of your sword is way too big. Just for peace of mind. Yeah, I broke it. Alright, I'll do it. I mean, there's no chance of PB on the seed, so, like, why not? I guess it could be here. Nope. Huh. Wonder where it is. Oh, maybe it's in the meme. Yeah, it could be in meme. It could be in, oh, I should switch back to this. Okay, cool. Eh, yeah. Okay. Huh. Wonder where it is. I mean, it'd be really handy to have. We have Foul to You, Hellhound. I guess I'll check the meme check. Why not? I thought. I thought it was somewhere not out of the way. I thought that was the note that I got, but I may have to check the Discord messages. But did I miss an accessory check? I don't think so. I mean, that's better than what I'm wearing. Oh, actually, I can put... Yeah. We don't need the strider belt anymore. Maybe it's in Last Dance with Mary Jane area? Oh, I made it! Oh, almost got it. That is some sick tech. I practiced that like a month ago, and I was getting it like 50% of the time. Shit, I have like no way to do damage. It's just gonna be poison, I guess. What am I gonna do to the end boss? Tickle him with my sword, I guess. I wonder if like DPS wise it's gonna be faster to look for glasses? No, not it can't be, right? I could go underwater. That's 2 chucks there. And then I could waystone out, I guess. Waystone back to here. I'm trying to think, yeah, because there's like I go under from the bridge. It should just be here though. Hmm. Hmm. Huh. Maybe Rainbow just had the wrong notes.
So, what'll it be?
Tell me, what exactly is the Liber Logaia?
I think with Waystone this is probably fine. Just to well, there's actually 3. I could go across and get the 3rd one that's up in the caverns as well. Maybe even the 4th one all the way over to the because we have Accelerator. I mean, the difference in Dom could be like a couple minutes, so this might not be too bad. And it's way less risky. I only have potions. Oh, I didn't do the check under the librarian. I'm dumb. The bottom one. I bet that's where it is. Let me go. Okay, just in case that was like Void Ray or Foul Team or something. I'm gonna go this way first. Okay, not that one. Uh, I broke the wall of the tower. Did I not go in it? I went and double checked after I... I mean, I definitely didn't do this one, which is probably what it is, I would imagine. I was gonna do this one, and then I was like, no, we'll be okay, right? Maybe I didn't go in the room. What did I miss? There's only the one accessory here. No, I went in the room. What accessory did I miss? But I couldn't have got to that, though. Like, when Rainbow gave me this seed, it was just, it was... Here, let me look at the message. Because this was... I asked for an STS that would be short, so that, you know, in case I had to do 2 in the time, if we didn't meet the incentive, I would be able to do that. And I had the one from Yeezy already. Oh god, I have truncated names from there we go. Blah, 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 blah. This is a C with GGs that are in Tower. Oh, that means Tower of Twin Dragon. I was not thinking. Okay. Well, that's my fault. May as well just go get him now. That means Tower of Twin Dragon. Not, I'm thinking Tower like it's, you know, the one that's in Hall of Termination, because that's the top point of the castle. But yet it's not called the Tower. So I'm assuming right here, or in the above the doorway to enter this area. Yep. That's me being dumb. Totally me being dumb. Hey, Ice Elemental. I don't have 200 MP. I wanted to take my revenge on you, but... It's okay, we'll regen it. Validation wall, of course. Yes, yes. I'm not even gonna bother to poison her. We're already good there. Okay. I was not taking that ghost hit at all. There's no way. Let's do this. Now I think I want to invert here. After the first pass, because then I can flamethrower the shit out of it without uninverting from the top. And then I'll mix in some Hellhounds too. Like, I don't think it's worth it here. I think now it's worth it. Oh, this did not work the way I wanted it to at all. Guess we'll call this strat bad and call it a day. Well, it should have been like 10-15 minutes faster than it was, but what are you gonna do? Alright. Good stuff. Yeah, it's about 9 o'clock for me, so that is gonna be it for me tonight. Hey, I filled the whole time. I spent more time talking about the run than I thought I would. So thanks for hanging out, guys. It was my pleasure to represent us at the marathon. Big shout outs to Yeehaw for coming in and commentating with me. That really helped a lot. I definitely would have played way worse in both runs if I didn't have him doing a good amount of the talking for me. Because talking and playing this game with all the different things you have to be aware of, but also the execution that you need to be decent is a huge stack of stuff. So taking any amount of weight off that stack, especially when it's heavy, as talking about what's going on and trying to smash in as much information as we can as possible is a huge help. Thanks for the marathon for having us, for reaching out to us, asking us to submit. That was huge. And they also, spoiler, offered to help us run a tournament. So if we can get the people together, there's a very, very high chance that they will be able to run the bracket for us and restream for us and all that. So if you're interested in playing Bloodstained randomizer in a tournament setting in 2025, please let me know. I would love to have our tournament finals during the winter event. And I would be more than happy to spend the money on having a really nice prize for top 3. So please reach out to me if you are interested. I would like to have at least 16 people so we could run a proper winners and losers bracket. If we can get 16 people, I will, and we can commit to getting it done by December. I'm thinking like late August start. And if we can have the finals during the marathon, I am committed to a $500 prize pool. So there it is, community. I've laid down the gauntlet and the challenge for y'all. If you want to win some money, you can't just show up. You got to convince other people to sign up. So if we can get to 16 players, I will. And we'll have to figure out how, because I'm pretty sure cash is not the best way to do this. But I whether it's Amazon gift cards or whatever, I'm committed to putting that much money in to top 3. And if it goes really well and things happen and we can get into the marathon, then maybe I'll be able to match that in a donation towards the winter marathon. Who knows? We'll see what happens. So I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to put a social media post up, and let's get it done. So if those things fall into place, if I can get at least 16 players, I will participate if I have to. And FFR agrees to have our tournament finals at some point in the winter marathon. I'll probably set up like a match arena or something for it so we can crowdfund more prize money, but I will dump $500 of my own money into the prize pool. So there you go. And we'll pay out at least top 3. Hopefully we can pay out more, depending on what else happens. So there you go. I'm laying down the gauntlet. I will talk to FFR about. Here's the thing. I don't know how to do signups. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a post on Blue Sky. I'm going to drop it in the Discord. And I'll be like, hey, share this with anybody who wants to play. I don't want to force anybody into getting a social media account if they don't want to. But like the easiest way would be just to reply to my fucking post and be like, I want to play. And, oh yeah, Google form. That's a good idea. Google form. I will make a Google form. And I will drop the link. So I'll work on that tomorrow because I'll probably have some downtime tomorrow. And then I'll pop a social media post up with the form, and I will share it in all the discos that have a Bloodstained channel. And we'll see what happens. With FFR being involved, potentially, they'll be able to probably set up a bracket for us and set up restreams. Like, I know my PC is probably good enough to be able to restream events. I'll commentate on as many of the races as I can, and I'll play if I have to. So, but I have no problem sharing the responsibility. Like, if Bobby and Jupiter want to host matches on their channel, I'd love to have them participate. Anybody who wants to host matches or whatever, I think it's fine to open that up. But having the finals during the marathon, I think, would be really great. And even if it's not, I mean, it's not going to be live, so like, nobody's going to be gate kept out of the finals by not being able to travel. I'm pretty sure their winter marathon is remote, so like, as long as if you're going to make it to the finals, you can commit to playing at like a regular, likely primetime slot, whether it's like a Friday night or a Saturday night, you'll be able to get in there. So that's what I want to do. That's putting my money where my mouth is. Let's say that. So instead of buying a stupid box of Final Fantasy Magic cards, I'm going to give it to the Bloodstained. I'm going to give the same amount of money to the Bloodstained community. So there you go. I donated to charity over the weekend. I donated my time. I donated my energy. And, why not donate a little bit more? And, get some hype in our game before the new game comes out next year, And, if that game has a randomizer mode in it and it's really good and has logic, we might not see Bloodstained Ritual for a while. And, that would be a shame to not go out with a bang at least. So I'm going to throw it out there. We'll see how it goes. I have created Microsoft Forms before, so I'm sure Google Forms are basically the exact same thing. And I'll play around with it. But I'm going to go grab a little bit of food, and I'm going to lay down and go to bed, and we'll get that shit up tomorrow. We'll get this video up tomorrow on YouTube, and we'll go from there. So, heck yeah, guys. Take it easy. And we'll see you tomorrow on the regular scheduled stream schedule resuming as of today.